Hey guys, it's Jay. Welcome back to my channel. We'll discuss the popular culture of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. There was a time where the animated specials would come on once in a while, sometimes on Saturday afternoons, sometimes on weekday mornings, and maybe even the evenings at prime time. And as a kid, you really looked forward to these types of little animated specials, which places like CBS, CBC, Global Television would air really special little one-shot animations for kids to enjoy. One time, when I was at a friend's birthday party, I was able to catch a cartoon, which sort of freaked me out. And I just had to wonder, is this really for kids? Today, guys, we're going to be looking at Care Bears in the Land Without Feelings. Guys, you really have to think back. When television was a really big thing in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, today you can pretty much turn on your internet, go to your computer, and just surf for anything else you want to see, whether it's YouTube, Netflix, or any other sort of streaming media, which will play videos on demand for you. We're right here on YouTube right now, just watching that. But back in the day, we didn't have those options. We had something called TV Guide, and that basically explained to you what programs were going to be shown at what times during the day. But every now and then, as I said, you would get a very special treat as a kid, where a special made-for-TV episode just for kids would air. And these could be cartoons, they could be television specials, they could be a whole bunch of things, but they were very much aimed at little children. I used to love these cartoons. They were one-shot animations which would come on pretty much in the evening or in the afternoons, and you could find out more about them using your TV Guide. But more often than not, there would be a special commercial pretty much run maybe the week before or a few days before, telling parents that there's something really special for kids and they can leave them there for an hour or more to get other things done during the day. It was about 1983, 1984, sometime around there, and I was invited to Jeremy's birthday party. I was really excited as, well, you know, you're 6 years old, you have a number of friends who you're really close to. And when somebody invites you to your birthday party, it is a big deal. So I remember getting all dressed up. My mom was very concerned about the way I looked. So, you know, she basically made sure that I was all nice and properly dressed. I had picked out a gift for Jeremy. I remember it vividly now. It was actually Soundwave. I picked up a Soundwave transformer for Jeremy, and believe me, I was super jealous because I love Transformers. Then went over to his house with my mom, and pretty much was dropped off there for the rest of the day. After the cake and the opening of presents, the kids were allowed to roam around the house and pretty much play with Jeremy and watch what he was doing, or the other Jeremy's parents, had set up a television where, you know, some kids who were a little bit more shy or, you know, weren't maybe tired or something like that, could actually sit down and watch cartoons. I myself was a little bit shy back then. I didn't really mingle too well with other kids, and Jeremy seemed to be very preoccupied with the other toys. So I remember just meandering over to the TV and sitting down and watching with some other kids. And what was playing on television this time was Care Bears in the Land Without Feelings. And let me tell you, I was not ready for what I was about to watch.
Who can brighten up your day? Who can smile and chase the blues away? Who can lend a helping hand? The Care Bears can. They care a lot about you.
The story starts out with the Cloud Keeper. Although he never introduces himself to us, we can tell that he's some sort of caretaker, someone who seems to be, well, standing on top of a cloud and sweeping up after all the mess. He's accompanied by a little floating star, which we never really explained what that means. But he's such a jovial, kind of roly gentleman who is very happy and tries to explain to us exactly what's going on.
Bet you didn't think we could hear them all the way up here. Kevin and Donna don't know it yet, but this place is going to mean a lot to them.
We soon find out that a pair of kids are in a bit of a dilemma. Kevin, a young boy, seems to be, well, a little bit upset about the fact that his parents are making him move away from his best friend, Donna. He decides in his little bit of a fit that he's going to run away.
I'm not moving. They can't make me. Parents can make you do anything. I'm not going. I'll run away. That's what I'll do.
The Care Bears decide that they're the ones who need to help out. So, after arguing a little bit about who should be the one to go down, Tenderheart and Friend Bear decide to head down to Earth and talk to Kevin.
Hi. Who are you? We're Care Bears. I'm Friend Bear.
And I'm Tenderheart. We've come to show you someone cares.
The two bears do their best to show Kevin that he's important and that people care about him so much and that the parents are just trying to do what's best for him. But Kevin, being very upset, decides to say that he doesn't care. This perplexes both bears and they feel like they need backup. So they hop back into their little cloud car and zoom back up to the Cloud City. In an emergency meeting of sorts, all of the bears decide that they need to help out. So they all get into their little cloud cars and head down to where Kevin and Donna are. Unfortunately, Kevin has already run away from home. The bears decide that they have to go and find him. So they're off to an adventure to rescue Kevin.
I'll find him.
I'll go. I should go.
No, I'm going
No,
to.
I want to. Why don't we all find him?
This was a very interesting cartoon. At the time, I was just a little kid, I'd say around 6 years old. And I really didn't know what to make of these things. I had never seen Care Bears before. I think I might have heard of one in school at the time, but I never thought that I'd be watching an animation about a bunch of bears who had little symbols on their tummies and represented a different feeling and different way of emoting to kids at the time. We have Tenderheart, who loves people. We have Friend Bear, who, as her name would suggest, she's a friend. We have Sunshine Bear, who brings light to everybody. Just so many other bears, including Grumpy Bear, who sometimes you just will feel grumpy and, you need to be left alone. And Grumpy is one of those guys you can pretty much just hang out with and understands exactly how you're feeling. It's a pretty interesting concept, that's for sure. We find that Kevin has wandered pretty far from home, and he encounters a fountain, which spits on him.
I don't care. Who cares?
Sorry, I thought you wanted a drink. What are you doing here anyway?
Now, the fountain explains that she thought he needed a drink of water, as most flowers are asking for it. But he says that he doesn't care. And the fountain sort of reciprocates in a way, saying that she doesn't care either. She does warn him, though, that if she did care, she wouldn't go over there.
Or I might be sorry.
I don't care.
Well, neither do I. But if I did, I'd turn right around.
I don't care.
As Kevin wanders into the park, we find that he's continuously going further and further. So far, in fact, that he goes outside the park into another domain. And this domain is that of Professor Coldheart. Looking back at it now, I really have to think to myself, is this cartoon really for kids? I mean, you have a Professor Coldheart, and he is one scary dude. He kind of looks like a mix between Professor Burns and Jack Frost from any of the Rankin and Bass films. but he's really, really mean. He comes off as this sinister type of guy and saying to kids that, oh, I don't care. But in reality, he very much cares. He cares that he wants to be able to capture children and bring them to his lair. And when he's there, he does pretty awful things to them, I gotta tell you.
Who are you?
Allow me to introduce myself. They call me Professor Cold Heart. I'm cold and cruel and crafty. But wait, here comes the best part. I'll freeze your feelings cold as ice and chill your cares. Oh, that sounds nice. So listen, here's some sound advice. Be smart. Don't mess with the professor. Cunning, clever, cold heart.
One of the main scenes, which really got me as a kid, is when he offers Kevin a drink. Now, I'm gonna start doing spoiler alerts here because I start realizing that I get a little bit too much away. But let me tell you, when he offers Kevin a drink, my blind and my little 6-year-old self was terrified. I swear to God, I was sitting there watching this unfold, and I literally nearly peed my pants.
Drink up, my boy.
Well,
Come, drink. Feel anything?
no.
Good.
The Care Bears are just another great example of how cartoons in the 80s were really just commercials for toys. The company American Greetings had created Care Bears in 1981, originally to put them on greeting cards. They were created by their subsidiary, Those Characters from Cleveland, a licensing division that created characters for pretty much anything they needed. The toy line was soon introduced to stores in 1982 by Kenner and Parker Brothers. They were pretty much marketed as friends for kids who really do care.
Giving a Care Bear is a very special way of sharing your feelings,
She's a wish come true.
because a Care Bear's tummy shows just what you're feeling in your heart.
Cheer Bear! He'll help you cheer from the sidelines.
Television episodes for kids, which are aired on prime time and special slots, you don't really see that too much anymore. The only one I can really think of that comes to mind would be The Simpsons Halloween special, which used to air annually every Halloween. But as it is right now, they never had a special time slot, at prime time that was only reserved for them. It pretty much coincides with their regularly released programming. So in that sense, there really are no more special TV episodes like the Care Bears in The Land Without Feelings. The other funny thing about these specials is that if you didn't know that they were coming out, you pretty much missed it. And all the talk at the schoolyard was how everybody else watched it, but you pretty much missed out. It kind of sucked.
Vicky went in there?
Kevin! Kevin!
Kevin!
Kevin!
Wait! All at once!
Kevin!
What's going on here?
The Care Bears in A Land Without Feelings episode really was an introduction into this whole world of caring and sharing with little stuffed toys. And it would spawn an entire television series called The Care Bears Countdown.
Care Bears Countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Who's that coming from somewhere up in the sky?
This would soon become a staple on Canadian and American television, and I used to watch it religiously. As it is right now, it's become a very fond memory, and something which I sort of look back at. As a matter of fact, Care Bears still continues today, in one form or another, as they have continued to reboot the series over and over again. But I will always remember that one episode which really freaked me out. And I really do have to wonder if they made it for kids. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this look back at Care Bears in The Land Without Feelings. It really remains to this day as one of those fun little cartoons, which I remember watching in a room where I was supposed to be at a birthday party, and I ended up just plopping my butt down with a bunch of other kids who were too shy to really participate, and ended up getting freaked out, and for the most part, not being able to sleep that night, and my mom wondering what the heck happened. Guys, just before I go, I'd like to thank every single one of you again for watching this episode. I also would like to tell everyone out there that with your help and your suggestions, I have come to the decision to open up a Patreon account. And it really would mean the world to me if those of you who wish would help me and support this channel. Again, this is not mandatory. I'm not asking anyone to donate anything. If you want to continue, just please subscribe and continue commenting on the episodes and enjoy my work. That is really the biggest thing for me. But if you do happen to want to support the channel and help me continue to make these episodes as frequently as I can, it really would mean the world to me if you checked out my Patreon page and helped me out there. Guys, as always, if you enjoyed this episode, please do leave me a like. It really helps me out. If you have any comments or suggestions on anime, toys, collectibles, cartoons, or anything else you'd like me to review, please leave those in the comment section below. And consider subscribing, as it helps YouTube to realize that you guys enjoy my work and that I'm doing a good job. Well guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. Geek proud. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to support the channel, please see the link in the description below. I've got more videos on the way, and we'll see you at the next one. Geek proud.